Gabby, I love you.
Oh my god. Today we have Archie Carter, the Archie Carter to be exact. He's from New Orleans. Oh my god. He's a host on the Attitude Era podcast where they do wrestling reviews, shoot interviews, and also some battle rap. He also does NASCAR race predictions, and he's my co-backstage interviewer for Pro Wrestling 225. Man's everywhere. So stay tuned, keep watching, enjoy it, and have fun. Oh my god.
And I worked in TV and radio and film for over 15 years. So I moved around a lot. I lived in New York. I lived in California, East Coast, West Coast, everywhere in between. I was in school to be an architect, somehow got a job in radio, and that led me down this path of media and eventually wrestling, where I met you at.
Right. And I see in the back a lot of action figures.
That's my little wall of, wrestling action figures. Because I'm a fan, Gabby. I don't know if people know. John Cena's over here, Seth Rollins. Actually, it's a lot of things I love on this wall, right? You have some anime up here, Godzilla, foreign movie films. You have some NASCAR autographs. So I'm like a Renaissance man. You never know what you're gonna get when Archie Carter's around. So
What's your favorite action figure so far that you've collected?
my favorite action figures always will be Ninja Turtles. When I was a kid, and I said when I grow up, I want to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That didn't happen, but you know what I'm saying. If I ever find me some ooze, yeah, we're gonna drink that.
Let's start with how did you get involved with Pro Wrestling 225?
So what happened was I perform at anime conventions and Comic Cons because I also do music. I rap in English and Japanese. So 3 years ago in Raleigh, I met Hunter Law. And I was like, yo, this dude is cool, right? So I followed like his career. So I was in town one day a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, Hunter's gonna be there. But then by that time, I also found like Simon Phillips and some other guys that I was just fans of. So I said, let me just check this event out. And I showed up 2 years ago at Fright Night. And from there, I was like, yo, this company is fire. So they have good talent. It seemed like a legit place. And I said, one day, let me just slide in the DMs and offer my services in media, because I also do graphic design and all this other stuff. And I just wanted to learn about it. So I reached out to Brett Ian Landry, and he hit me back. And he said, come through. We'll try it out. We've been looking for somebody to kind of be a backstage correspondent and do interviews and whatnot. So I went, and they can't get rid of me now.
Do you have any like shows, like favorite shows that you've worked with Pro Wrestling 225 that you could think of?
My first show, like I said, Fright Night was my real introduction, and my family was there. We was all dressed up in costumes. So that's always going to be like a core memory because that's the beginning. So, but every show I've done has been really good and really fun. And, when Gabby walked in the door, I said, uh-oh, we about to turn it up a notch. But yeah, Pro Wrestling 225, there's not been a show that I haven't enjoyed. Like, I sit in the back and I become more of a fan than anything. And that's always good.
Come on, give me some of your faves. You know I have to ask.
Faves, current, old, all the time we'll be talking, Gabby.
Okay, how about growing up?
Growing up, I was a big Sting guy. I was a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat guy. I liked Vader. I grew up in like the 80s, 90s. So I got to see the Attitude Era come in and that become a thing. But of course, Ric Flair, and growing up in the South, Junkyard Dog was the guy. So, JYD and all those old school guys. Going into the Steiner Brothers, or early WCW, I really enjoyed. Then later on, I got into like the ECWs, the WWF at the time, and New Japan. And then, but yeah, growing up, it was Sting and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Give me some Attitude Era faves. Give me some Ruthless Aggression faves.
It's always going to be Austin, Rock, Undertaker, of course, but, you got to throw your X-Pacs in there. Kurt Angle was a little bit after Attitude Era, but, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was one of my all-time favorites. So, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. I don't think any wrestling fan can really pick just one favorite.
I'm very interested in these AEW these AEW action figures. They're popping out to me. So like I personally I don't collect things like that, but kind of just give me. I don't want to ask you why because I feel like that's kind of rude. But like why?
You gonna ask me a question I don't know the answer to? It's fandom. I want to say it's just fandom. What I was doing with this particular set on the wall, I was collecting the actual series of like the first releases, right? So that's kind of what that is. And then everything else on the wall is just kind of like just my favorite things, and I need to have like a cool background when I go live to do stuff. So
You gotta do like a room tour or something.
we're gonna do the MTV Cribs. We catch that next time. But yeah, it's just some video game stuff, anime stuff. Like I say, I'm a big NASCAR guy, and I used to collect sneakers and like what's it called, football cards, but that's not kind of a thing anymore.
Right.
Unless it's a Pokemon thing, people go crazy over Pokemon cards for some reason. But yeah, so that's just a little bit collector in me still kind of collecting, but like my collections over the years, I moved around a lot, so there's a lot of things I had to get rid of.
What are some of your favorite animes?
I mean, you got to mention Dragon Ball Z. I think that's the entry point for a lot of people. But My Hero Academia, I really love Death Note, things like that, Bleach. I mean, how long are you trying to talk, Gabby? I can go any direction. But yeah, and there's actually a wrestling anime based on like King from Tekken, so that's actually pretty good. And there's a wrestling anime, I can't think the name right now, and it's based on New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, and that's the beauty of anime. You can find anything you like, and there's an anime about it.
So let's get into the Attitude Era podcast.
Attitude Era podcast is it's a wrestling / battle rap podcast, right? And we sprinkle the battle rap in there because one of the hosts, his name is DNA. I don't know if you may or may not be familiar with him. He's a very big deal in the battle rap world. Some people have him as the GOAT. He's on Mount Rushmore, but he's also done work with the NFL, NBA, ESPN. He's currently a writer and actor on Raising Kanan, does some of the soundtrack for Power. So he's a big deal. And he's also a wrestling fan. So he started this podcast. I wasn't one of the original members of it, but I came in later because I was already doing my own thing. And I met him. We kind of linked up, and he brought me in to kind of, remix it a little bit to bring it a different direction to where it is now. And what we do with everything with Attitude Era Podcast, we do weekly recaps. And what really has us standing out from a lot of different things is we've interviewed everybody. Like our last interview was Diamond Dallas Page. Before that, it was Bret Hart. We actually have the last interview with Sid Vicious, rest in peace, Psycho Sid, where he was talking about trying to get into the Hall of Fame. That went crazy, went super viral. As far as back as Marty Jannetty, Mankind, as recent as Jacob Fatu and Trick Williams. So we talked to a lot of people because of the work we've done and we'll continue to do, because to get people to sit and talk is you gotta they have to be comfortable with you and what you're doing. So I'm not saying be credible, but authentic, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And we have fun. We fight on the Attitude Era podcast. We bicker. We have a bunch of different segments and a bunch of original content outside of the interviews, which is my favorite part, the original content, because we get to be creative and it's just a bunch of dudes talking wrestling, pretty much.
Like that's a great opportunity to bring you in, and after everything that you've done, like your resume prior to that, Yeah,
and I tell people all the time, you may not think you where you want to be, but just keep doing the work, right? Because the people that need to see is going to see it, and where you start is not where you finish. And I just believe that. I had a mentor, rest in peace, Alvin Stowe. I was frustrated with music at the time, and I was like, I'm going to Atlanta, I'm gonna blow up. He said the only thing between where you are and where you want to be is time. And in that time, do the work, because no matter where you light a candle, it's going to shine. So you may think you're not being seen or heard, but people are watching. I read about like Jay-Z and J. Cole. They said these are two people who know everything going on the internet, right? Tyler, the Creator, recently said he found a kid that he worked with, and when he found his kid, the song that he found only had like 16 views, right? So don't get caught up in the numbers and the hype and, oh, this person got 1 million and this and that. Because when it's your time, it's gonna be your time. But make sure you're ready and you're doing the work. So, it's like a duck. Ducks look like they floating on the water, but under the water, their feet constantly keep them afloat. So just stay busy and believe in what you're doing. Because if you believe in it, others believe in it. And when you get your opportunity, you'll be ready. So I know people say numbers don't lie, but they do. Because like me, I make music, right? My target audience is I'm on the Japanese audience because that's where my music took off at. I did an album in Japanese, so I kind of settled in that pocket. But if you look at my streaming numbers right now, they look terrible. I took all my music off streaming and we're reincorporating it back. But when I do shows, like the largest show I ever did was 50,000 people in Raleigh, North Carolina over a 4-day weekend. That was actually the year I met Hunter Law. So I might have like 200 streams, but it's thousands of people I just performed in front of. And don't get caught up in the numbers.
How long did it take you to learn Japanese?
About 10 years ago, I was moving to Japan. And that was the year they had like a big earthquake. And that's when I started learning the language then. And once the earthquake hit, I learned a lot about Japan I didn't know. Like there were like nuclear reactors over there and just different things I didn't know about the landscape and the geography. And I was like, that might not be the best idea. So I still picked up the language and I've always wanted to do a project based in it. And I just decided to do my Tokidoki album, I want to say 2-3 years ago. And it hit. So I was like, you know what, that's my audience, and we just gonna keep feeding the people that want to be fed, and everybody else catch on, they catch on. But I also do other things. It's called nerdcore. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's a genre called nerdcore, and this is where you just talk about like nerdy stuff. So you talk about wrestling, you rap about video games, you rap about anime, and it's just it's a real genuine genre of music where people just kind of be themselves. And that's what got me into the anime convention and Comic-Con scene, hosting panels and performing.
So when's the next album coming out?
I'm working on a project right now. I'm always working on music. Like I wake up and write and record. I actually do NASCAR race recaps. I rap the NASCAR race recaps every week. Actually, when I get off this, I have to do this week's. And I do predictions and reviews for NASCAR races. That's just something I love because when I left New Orleans, I moved to North Carolina, and that's like NASCAR world. Like, so I just got into it, and my fandom led me to, using my creativity to do that. But music, I'm always working on music. It's stuff that I never put out, stuff I want to put out, but it never stops. It's kind of like working out. It's just something you're always doing. Low key, I ain't tell nobody this. I'm working on a lot of entrance music and theme music for Pro Wrestling 225 wrestlers that they don't even know is coming. So I got a list of names. I got some things I'm putting together. So, Gabby done got the exclusive, man.
The Attitude Era podcast, weekly recaps. Just tell me about just the grind it takes to just be consistent with that,
It's a lot. It's a lot because it's 5 people on the podcast. So we try to have at least 3 to 4 to do the recaps weekly, but it's hard getting people's schedules. Gamaj, he's on the podcast. He's a model. Z the Dropout, he's a battle rapper. King HP, he kind of like produces everything, but he has other things going on. He has his own channel where he does Marvel content and TV show recaps. So he does that on his Hall Preezy channel, and DNA, like I mentioned earlier, he has all this other stuff going on, right? So it's just, that's the grind, getting us all together, getting us all, 2 of us might be in a good mood and want to record, 3 may not. Somebody had a great day, but we do it because it's something we enjoy and we want to do, but it's definitely a grind. Content creation is a grind. It's work, because not only do you have to record it, somebody got to edit it, you might need a thumbnail, audio might be bad. It's so many different things, but we all have our roles to where when we put it together, it works, and we try to make the work not so heavy. But the biggest thing is like the scheduling conflict. Like right now, we're trying to figure out WrestleMania. 5 people, we got 2-3 committed. It's just a lot going on because we got it. We're doing something at Wale Mania this year. I'm excited about that, and we just did Austin, South by Southwest, the Hills Have Eyes. So it's more so the scheduling thing, but the grind. Anybody that does content creation, it's a grind. Some days you're not gonna feel like it. Some days you might feel ugly. You know what I'm saying? You might not feel like you got your best face on. It's just a thing that you have to stick with, but it's work. It's work.
So speaking of, WrestleMania, John Cena's farewell tour. How what is your thoughts on it? How are you liking it?
I John Cena, I didn't appreciate John Cena until he kind of stopped retiring. I was a Cena sucks guy. Then eventually I'm like, how did this John Cena sweatshirt and hat get in my closet? Who put that there? We're gonna see what happens and where it goes, but so far so good. I don't like the you don't appreciate me, Cena. I want my John Cena turned up. Throw the jersey back on. Put the big chain around your neck. Rap again. Like that's what I would like to see before he go out. But yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I got a few WrestleManias under my belt.
Is it crazy?
It's a long week. It depends on you, right? Because my first one, it was on a whim. I was in Charlotte. Me and my uncle, I said, bro, let's go to WrestleMania. It's in Atlanta. We drove, went to WrestleMania, drove right back. And then that became our yearly thing. And that was the year it was the Miz and Cena headlined, I believe, and The Rock interfered. So 28 in Miami, we got The Rock and Cena. So it was 27, 28, 29, 30, all in a row. So I got to see the streak get ended. I saw Edge's last retirement match. I saw Rock Cena twice. WrestleMania's a long week because we did the Hall of Fame and we did WrestleMania when it was one night, and we did the Monday Night Raw after. So that was a few years ago. Now it's 2 nights of WrestleMania, SmackDown, the Raw after, which is always a big deal, and NXT does their special events Tuesday. So it's literally like a week, and now they're doing WrestleMania World. So it's like a whole week if you want it to be a week, but it's a lot, especially if it's in a city where you don't know how to navigate.
So the Attitude Era podcast. How are y'all hoping? Like, are y'all have plans to expand it in any way?
Actually, right now, Reed kind of figuring some things out because it is a lot with the weekly recaps. We go live 3 times a week right now. But you have to think it's not just going live, it's watching wrestling, talking about it. And these shows are 2-3 hours, and we talk. It's a lot. So we just reconfiguring that. Expansion, we always want to do that, right? The end goal for me is to work more closely with the WWE and whatever roles that may be. We have some things going on, but this has opened up other doors to AEW. We've done some work with AEW, different things. Even with Pro Wrestling 225, I reached out to Brett. He saw what I was doing with Attitude Era. He's like, well, first of all, some of us know what this is, and come on, we'll love it. So to me, that's expansion, right? I'm expanding there. So expansion is always the key, but it has to make sense, not just for me individually, but the crew, right? But if a great opportunity presented itself for me individually, there's nobody on Attitude Era podcast that will feel any type of way and say, hey, that's what it's about, right? Growing and growth. But yeah, expansion. We bring people on. Gabby, you got to come talk to us. You know what I'm saying? And we just have fun. And that's the thing. We still enjoy doing it. It's not a job. Hasn't become a job yet. It will eventually. But, until then, we just, again, a bunch of dudes talking wrestling. I actually got a role in a Netflix movie coming out that I did. So.
Oh.
And I'm getting my little SAG credit. It's a little speaking role I got. It's a book adaptation of a movie. I don't know if I could talk about it, but it's some heavy hitters in there, and your boy was in there.
Oh, I want to be like y'all.
Come on, it's just again, like I said, you just got to do the things, and people will see it and recognize you. And I think a lot of people look at you, like even with your interview with the Indies, right? It's gonna be somebody look at this in 3 months just to see if you're still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the consistency, it's the grind, it's all of that, and it's having a good catalog and trail of your work, so people can say, okay, she's good at this, or I like this, I want to see more. And that's when the opportunities come, when people see that you're serious about what you're doing. And trust me, those 10 views we were getting, those no streams I was getting, um, it affected me. I'm not gonna lie and say, excuse me, that it didn't. But when I got the email to perform at GalaxyCon, I was like, okay. I did DreamCon last year with Supreme Dreams and Kai Cenat and Amp, like, and me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna even lie. I sit on the side of the bed sometimes. I get these emails, and is somebody cutting onions? Like, am I crying? I am, because that moment is kind of like, okay, you're being recognized and you're being rewarded for what you're doing. And I mean, and it's something I enjoy, getting in front of the people, speaking, talking, performing. My favorite part of the performing is in between songs when I get to speak to people and impute things into them, right? Some positivity, just to, let you know you're doing okay, keep going. And that's my biggest thing. So whether it's 10 people or 10,000, you're going to get the same energy and love from me, because that's what I believe in.
Whether it's Raw or SmackDown or NXT, what is your favorite thing? Favorite storyline, favorite people that are sticking out to you right now? Your current faves.
I could pick a name out of a hat right now because it's WrestleMania season. So everything's kind of top tier and only getting better. I like the work The Rock is doing because I don't know how much we're going to see The Rock after this. The work with Cena, I don't know how much. I mean, these guys aren't, it's not 20 years ago, right? So, but then you have your up and comers like Brian Breakers. I mean, Jacob Fatu is, you know, that he shows up as himself and you see where he's at. But what I really enjoy right now in WWE is the women's roster. I think WWE has the best women's roster in wrestling with the NXT crew. Like, Jada Parker, Sol Ruka, Kalani Jordan. You mean, the champs. And the list of women talent, Lash Legend, Shakira Jackson. I can go on and on. That's my favorite part of watching the weekly shows, is seeing the women get their props, and they just do. And aside from that, I mean, Raw and SmackDown, it is what it is. It's WrestleMania season, so I could pick anything, and it's just going to be good, just the builds. But NXT, I think, has one of the best women's roster, and even main roster. I mean, I think Io Sky, Io Shirai, whatever you call it, is one of the best wrestlers in the world, right? And Charlotte Flair is back. What she's going to do? But you have Tiffany Stratton, who's coming up. So then, we always got the lingering thing of, where's Becky Lynch? What is she going to do? It's always that, but I think women's wrestling needs a bigger spotlight on it, because on the internet, people critique it and tear it down. But I always ask people, let me see your match highlights.
Will we ever see you in the ring?
I'm doing some work right now on the body. You know what I'm saying? We getting there. I was supposed to be in the Super Bowl Rumble this year. That was gonna happen, but I had the flu, hit the house, and I didn't want to be the guy that got the locker room sick. So you might see me pop up. It's one of the guys in the company. He said he'll train me. I just got my blood work back. Everything's good. So we making steps toward it happening. If it happens, you know what I'm saying, we gonna see. I feel being around Pro Wrestling 225, with the staff they have, is probably one of the best places I can debut if I want to debut, because I feel comfortable with the guys. I feel safe with the talent. You know what I'm saying? That's all part of it. Some of the stuff I see on the internet, even in WWE sometimes, most recently with John Moxley with the thing in his back, like, it's a lot, but I would feel if I did make a debut, Pro Wrestling 225 would be perfect for me with my comfort level and what I'm doing. So if not this year, maybe next year, but y'all gotta tune in to see, man. But I will be in the ring doing something at some point. I just got the itch. Like, the closer I got to working with the company, seeing it, like, I've seen it, before, but I've never been a part of the locker room, right? I never been one of the boys. It's like, just hanging out. Like, you know how it is, Gabby. Show day. We in Gorilla, we backstage, we all over the place, we enjoying the show. And the closer I get, it's like, man, I think I can, okay. So yeah, eventually, in what role, I don't know. I think I'll make a good manager. Hell, I might make a good ref. Who knows? But the Archie Carter will be doing something in somebody's wrestling ring at some point. You have a great personality. Like, I could see something with the persona, maybe a little manager role. I don't know.
I'd be a manager. I'd be a valet. But in the ring, it's like the after effects of it. Like, they're always hurting. So it's like, I don't know.
It's painful. It's painful. It's painful. And I'm watching at the shows and I'm like, I hope these guys are okay. And they come in the back, enjoy the match. I'm like, I thought you were dead.
If you could have any wrestler's theme song and entrance, who would it be? Or if you want like a certain theme song with a different entrance, you could do that too. But who would it be?
I gotta go Randy Orton. Voices is one of the best songs ever. And I just like the way Orton moves, real slow, methodical. He get to the top rope and he throws his hands up. I think that's cool. Another one of those guys that we probably won't see in the next 2 to 3 years. So it's gonna be sad. You gotta think Randy Orton, John Cena, The Rock, Seth Rollins, like CM Punk, who's gonna like we're watching the era kind of phase out. So, but yeah, I think Randy Orton has one of the best underrated themes ever, and the Brood. Like I thought the Brood entrance was crazy. So.
Oh, don't say that, Archie. Our faves are getting old. The people I grew up on are getting old.
It's a time, and they're still doing it at a high level. So, I mean, think about even in Pro Wrestling 225, Mustang Mike's been wrestling 30 years. We have some young guys there, 3 to 5 years. Then we have some real vets that still hit it hard. Some of these guys, when I'm watching the Pro Wrestling 225, I'm like, why are they going so hard? It's what they love. It's what they do. Just recently, I don't want to talk about it because you got to watch it on Pro Wrestling 225 Unleashed on YouTube. The main event from Power Up was crazy, but you know what I'm saying? It's they enjoy it and it gives them something. And if you got something you enjoy in life and you just do it, somebody's not going to like it, somebody's going to like it. But how do you feel about it, right? You enjoy it, do it. Whether it's gaming, content creation, cooking, running, whatever it is, find that enjoyment, because in this world, if you find something you enjoy, do it and stick with it, and you never know what may come of it.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. If you're not yet subscribed yet, please subscribe, follow, go subscribe to the Attitude Era podcast is down below as well. And I hope y'all are enjoying these interviews. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions that you would like me to ask people on the indie scene, put them down below. Like, what is something that you wonder? What is something that you want to know? Anyway, thank you. Oh my God. And y'all have a great day. And we're on the road to 1K. We're almost there. And yeah, bye.